Well, hello, my beautiful Librans. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for mid-August right through to mid-September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I am using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, something that may be of benefit to you as I use the Gaia chimes and you take this breath and space for yourself, visualize a sort of success you desire to achieve, whether it is money, some sort of high-ranking position, running your own business. Success looks differently for everybody, of course, so please visualize a sort of success you desire because the Gaia chimes recalibrate vibrations, locking you on to a vibration of manifestation. So something to think about as I do this for you. You could utilize your time in that way. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Librans, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. Now, I'm scrying at the same time as doing your reading, and the vision that came to me in the water is a really grand staircase, and at the top of that staircase was a harp. Okay, so very unusual. So maybe it's something that some of you may see, but I feel symbolically this is about you taking steps towards refining your career in some way, fine-tuning something, but I feel you are elevating towards something very unique and very special. High vibes. I mean, a harp is very unique, okay? It almost felt like the Gaia chimes were also, it's like when a symphony starts to play all the notes because they're getting ready to play. So I feel there's this energy of you fine-tuning something because you're getting ready for something. Okay, so that was coming out there. So please take it as it resonates. I'm not sure how else it may resonate with you. Maybe it's something that's going to be very specific. Perhaps there's a working event that brings you to a place like that and it means you're on course to be very successful. Or it could be team building exercise. For some of you, it could be that you're a musician and maybe you specialize in the harp. I'm not really sure, but please take it as it resonates because I do feel like, this is a period for you where you are taking the necessary steps to aspire to something very unique at this time. Okay, now your first card there is the ship, so you're all focused on your direction, sense of purpose. Some of you may be trying to get all your projects completed and your tasks done because you are setting sail on a vacation, and when you're away on this vacation, of course, this gives you time to think about your hopes, your fears, your desires, where you feel like you're at on course with your career, for example. A lot of you are going to be thinking about your money because you've got a King of Pentacles just pop out there as well. Also, For some of you, if you've just gone on a vacation and you're just coming back, it can be that now you're getting serious about the next steps. You're thinking about new ideas, you're looking at the challenges in the working environment. I feel you're also kind of like challenging yourself in order to do something that's very complex, but ultimately it will all come together as planned, and I feel like you will have a lot of fun with it. I also feel there's a hidden opportunity here for you coming in, but also I feel like you may actually nurture, I don't want to say a hidden talent, because I feel like you're aware that you are skillful in this area, but the next coming weeks could see you actually pay more attention to, a talent that perhaps you haven't nourished, or maybe you've neglected because you've had to do other things there. So that's coming out really strongly. We've got a 9 of Wands. A lot of you are exhausted. I feel there's an energy of you having a lot on your plate. You are very busy at capacity, but also I feel like you're trying to love what you do and you're focused on the rewards. There's a lot of people here as well. So this can be the people you work with or the people who are aligned with you. Maybe you utilize certain services with certain people, accountants, financial advisors, or maybe you're just looking at the way someone does something. Perhaps you are noticing how people do things in the industry that you're in, and you're watching their process. And it can be that you are finding your way towards a very unique way of doing something, but you may be looking at the way other people do it in order to kind of like be informed before you make decisions, for example. But ultimately, these are all aspects of self, and this is about you trying to do something that you love. It's hard, is what I see there, but you're building something. You are a tower of power, and we have that Queen of Cups, King of Cups as well there. This can be you aligning with something that you desire to do. We have the Temperance card. I mean, I got to be honest with you. There's this energy of you maintaining and sustaining. It doesn't mean nothing's happening this month. It just feels like, you're on course and you're remaining on course. Your first card there, for some of you, you may travel for work, or there may be some sort of relocation vibe going on in and around your working environment. So if you do work for a company, for example, there may be some reconstruction, some DIY, or some kind of like refurb going on. May even be a merge going on there as well, some sort of partnership going on behind the scenes. If you are working for a company, I would say that there's an energy of it's a very complex move, and there may be some challenges along the way with this move. So some of you may be witnessing redundancies or transformations in the working environment, and you may be a little bit worried about you and your position in this environment. But I feel with that Queen of Cups, you are actually someone who's valued in your working environment. You bring a lot to your sector, whatever it is you do. And the Temperance card indicates you are connected to your sense of purpose, and I feel like you are maintaining and sustaining. This is also not just balance, but I feel like you're trying out new ideas, and I feel like you're in the flow. So I feel like you are a real asset to your working environment or to your team. So I just want you to be aware of that. Sometimes we get a little bit nervous when there are changes, and I feel like with the ship there, I feel like you are like moving forward. And, most important is you to be happy in your working environment. But if you are going through an industry that is changing, I feel, of course, there's going to be some worries there. But actually, I feel there's an opportunity coming in that makes you kind of like feel quite protected in your role, but also there's a high vibe about it. It's like something that you would love, that you are attracting at this time. And I feel like you understand that you're working towards this. I feel like it's offered to you, okay? For some of you, there could be like some sort of change in your working environment where something becomes available to you. Now, looking at the energy for the outcome, I just feel it's something that you will love. I'm not sure if it's financial, so I will pull a card on it later. I want to address anyone who has currently left a role or is currently out of work and seeking employment at this time. I mean, I can see it's a very harsh job market. 5 of Wands, a lot of competition, oversaturated. I feel there's a lot of people vying for the same opportunities. For some of you, you may feel the industry that you're working in is like going through a major reconstruction, and you are currently looking at your options as to what you would really love to do. And if you are interviewing at this time, I feel like there is one role in particular that you absolutely love. I feel like you're a perfect fit. There may even be like two people who are in charge. So if this is a company, for example, it could be like a couple run this company, and I feel like you fit right in. I feel like you really are appreciated by this couple. There's this energy of you being interviewed twice. Okay, so I just feel like you are interviewed by a person who loves you, loves your skill set, and they can see a lot of potential here. And I feel like they then kind of like align you with a new opportunity to interview with someone who's a CEO or the boss, someone who has more clout to actually hire, and they love you as well. Okay, but I want you to be aware, for some of you, there are a couple of opportunities here. There were maybe one role that you interview for, but it doesn't go your way. I have to be honest with you, because we have the King of Cups and we have the Five of Wands. I feel like this may be sourced in-house. It's almost like the job was never really available. I hate to say that, but there's an energy of nepotism here. So you may interview for something that perhaps it's like they love you, but at the same time, they've already got someone that they are kind of filling for the role, and they already work at the company. So, I would say don't be disappointed. I feel like it helps you kind of like be more confident in the interview process, because there's a new role coming on in that you'll absolutely love. So if you do get a disappointment, I would say it is protection and redirection towards something greater, something more fulfilling, okay? And some of you may actually take on a temporary role in the meantime that is going to bring in finances. You're very clever financially at this time. But if you're a little bit worried there or nervous, I feel a lot of you, there is this energy of you caring about what you do, and the Temperance card means that you kind of align with something that is your calling at this time. So I want you to be aware of that, okay? Now, coming back to everybody else, the ship is all about your direction, and of course the ship, you adjust your sails when things get challenging. So it could be that you're required to be very flexible during the next coming weeks and months there. I feel for some of you, if you work for yourself, for example, and you have a certain place where you work, because we do have the tower in the resistance position, it basically means you avoid any missteps or you avoid anything that could be potentially negative. But it can be that there is some sort of reconstruction work. So for example, if you work from home, there could be some noise. Either your neighbor is doing some DIY, or perhaps, it is a time where your neighbors, if they have children may be off on their school holidays, for example. And if you're trying to conduct business from your garage or from your house and you're having meetings, for example, there could be some excess noise. I'm just giving you ideas of what the noise could be, okay? And I feel this is about you kind of like with the Nine of Wands, grinning and bearing it, trying to make some adjustments, be flexible and work around it is what I see. For some of you, you may actually go elsewhere where you can have a little bit more quiet time. You may even hire like a shared working office or environment where people creatively come together. So I'm seeing some of you do that, because I'm feeling this energy of like changing or relocating the way that you work in some way. So if you're an entrepreneur or a creative, or you work for yourself, there may be some reason why you'll have to kind of like work elsewhere or change the way that you work. But actually, I feel like you end up loving the new place. So you may even contemplate making it long term. Okay, so that's coming out there. But, the ship is all about your direction. It's about your goals. You are moving forward with the next couple of weeks with purpose. It says here, travel, long distance, relocation, change, vacation, movement, and foreign. So some of you are thinking about being more nomadic in your working industry. Whatever it is that you do, you could be trying to utilize things like the internet in order to be more online or have a presence where you can actually travel and work from anywhere in the world. Of course, not everybody's going to be thinking about that, but this could be something that's on your mind right now. Or you may be even thinking about migrating your skill set or even your business to overseas in some way. But majority energy I've got here is you being like diligent, focused, planning the next steps in order to make progress. This is you recognizing that your career is a journey and that you are inspired, but also you're aware that with the King of Pentacles, you got to show up for yourself every day and do like mundane tasks. Okay, that's just the nature of whatever it is that you do. So whether you work in a warehouse, whether you work as a creative artist, whether you work as someone in the financial sector, there's a structure. The King of Pentacles is all about the roles that you have to do day to day. And because we have that ship, it's like you're maintaining and sustaining, okay? You have a goal in mind. You're working towards something. So a lot of you're working towards, a big payoff there. Retirement, looking at your financial strategy, 401ks, making sure that you pay your bills on time, large purchases, repayments, all of the stuff. This is your tasks and responsibilities, and you're showing up because this is your protagonist energy. King of Pentacles means that you are focused on your finances, making sure that you are clever with your finances, but also reaping the rewards of your hard work. This is good business. This is a card where you are enjoying the finer things in life and you're aspiring to live a life of luxury or even a life of security for you and your family, and you're building financial structures or even looking into financial structures like generational wealth or even legal entities to run your own business. Some of you may be thinking about you have so much knowledge in your career, you've reached an established position, because kings are pretty high energy. This can be that you're a pro at what you do, but you want to take things further. So either you're thinking about becoming a consultant or running your own business and taking your knowledge so you can be your own boss, as it were. You're paying attention to how you can move into that territory, and it may feel like uncharted territory and you're unsure how things are going to go, but I feel that people are going to love what you do, and I feel it's a balanced, methodical approach to your career over the next coming weeks and months. I don't see any spontaneous energy here. I feel like you're just on course. Sometimes it's nice to maintain and sustain and get busy doing, and tick all those things off your to-do list. But if you're already someone who works for yourself, I feel like you could be contemplating overseas travel for business, or you may be thinking about legal structures in different countries in order to have the best opportunities with your finances. Also, I feel for some of you, this could be tax time as well. So you could be doing receipts, or spreadsheets, things like that, because the King of Pentacles is all about administrative tasks. So no matter what industry you're in, you could be dealing with spreadsheets or like contracts, documents, filing, those sort of things. It's about keeping on top of the usual everyday working requirements, okay? But also, this is you being aware of your finances and thinking of new possibilities, because you do have that Nine of Wands, which means you are kind of like maintaining, sustaining. A lot of you are exhausted. You have a lot on your to-do list, but you're questioning with that Nine of Wands energy. This can be that, you are making sure that you don't get taken unawares with bills, for example. The Tower is there, and I will pull a card on it, but I feel this is you being a tower power and actually standing out in your industry. But it can also indicate that you're feeling a little bit like isolated or lonely in your working environment, especially if you work for yourself. It could be that you're like showing up every day. It's hard to remain motivated, but you're pushing on through, because this is the wounded warrior card with the Nine of Wands. You're pushing on through. You've had some wins, you've had some losses in life, but things are hard right now, challenging, but I feel like you are making a difference. You're having the courage and the strength to succeed. Basically, you've had a lot of successes behind you, and you may feel that you're trying to have confidence and faith during troubled times. I have to acknowledge that a Nine of Wands with a King of Pentacles, it's like this energy of bracing yourself economically, that you feel there is like some challenging times, or you feel the structure of industry is showing some cracks because of the economy. And I gotta tell it how it is there. But looking at the energy, I feel these are fears with the Moon energy. We always fear, especially when our main motivation is security and stability. But with the Temperance card, I feel like you are locked onto your sense of purpose and calling. And the Queen of Cups there is about doing something that you love, but also nourishing something. You have an incredible imagination. This is about you having new ideas. It's an energy here of you also like caring about what you do. And that's why you worry about things that you do. Now, I have to acknowledge that there's also 3 people here. So some of you, there could be someone leaving your working environment if you work for a company, because we have a King of Cups in the resistance position at first. So it could be someone you actually really admire or like in your industry, and they suddenly decide to leave. I feel like they're headhunted. For some of you, my beautiful Librans, you may even be headhunted as well. This person may actually say, hey, I'm leaving to set up my own practice, or I'm going elsewhere. Do you want to come with me? It's going to be very competitive rates, because I feel with that 5 of Wands, that's competitive rates. That means that, you know, you're someone who's above the competition. But I feel there could be an opportunity where someone wants you to come on board a project, and you may have to decide whether you love where you're at or whether, you know, you want something new at this time. And I feel like you really won't make that decision until September is what I'm seeing there. But the 9 of Wands is to push on through, and it is an energy here of like trying to remain motivated even though it's the same tasks and responsibilities. People sometimes get a little bit bored, of course, with repetitive cycles, but it actually means that you're a pro at what you do. So I feel like you're a master of your craft. And if you've just come to this reading and you're like, okay, just tell me about the finances, King of Pentacles, I feel like you have the opportunity to attract more wealth. This could be through bonuses. I mean, I'm not seeing a bonus here for the next 6 weeks, got to be honest with you there. I feel like there is a hidden opportunity coming towards you, but this could be something that you will love, that you will nurture, that will eventually lead to a bonus or commission or some sort of like larger tip, for example, if you get tips in your industry. But I feel it feels like you're on an even keel over the next coming weeks and months, but you're aspiring to more. It's like you are ascending in some way, but this is the period where you're maintaining and sustaining, okay? So yes, I feel like you're ticking a lot of things off your to-do list. If you work for a company and you're witnessing redundancies or a lot of people off traveling, there could be a lot of vacations during this time, or people having a seasonal cold, for example, because I feel if you work for a company, I just feel like you're picking up some extra slack here. With the 9 of Wands, it means there may be some extra work building up here and you're feeling exhausted, but I feel it sets you apart to highlight that you are someone who is an asset to the team. But I also feel here, if you're covering for someone, you highlight that you can do the role better than they can and your job as well. So I feel it's setting you up for gain in the future because you're attracting new financial rewards. Okay, I feel like you're aligned for your highest good, and prosperity in its purest form, you're going to acknowledge it because I feel like you're making an impact in your industry and you're aligning with opportunity to bring in more wealth. I feel like you're committed to something, and I feel there could be a restructure in the future, but I really get this sense of you kind of like holding the fort or holding things together, okay? And even if you're an entrepreneur or you work for yourself, I feel like you could be like doing it all. It feels like you wear many hats in your industry, whatever it is that you're doing. But this card, it says isolation, legal structure, restrictions, ego, authoritative figures, lonely, standing out. Now it's a Saturn energy, so I feel with that King of Pentacles, you're being really strict with yourself at this time, and structure works really well for you. It's in the resistance position at first, so it does tell me a lot of you may have had a vacation, or you are trying to get all the things tied up before you can have a vacation there, and it's been extra pressure because this is a card of stress or pressure, trying to manage stressful situations. But you could also deal with a person who has a bit of an ego over the next coming weeks and months there. King of Cups in the resistance position. This is someone who could be manipulative. Okay, so it could be that they're the sort of person who always plays the victim or says they have something going on and there's a reason why they cannot do something, so they kind of like pass extra work to you. So just be a little bit mindful of that. I feel you're not going to call this person out. It may cause a little bit of tension at first, but you may diplomatically say, look, I'd love to help you out by taking on that extra work, but I've got a bit of a load on myself, and actually I just need to finish these tasks first and I'll get round to helping you with yours. And I feel they may have something that's time sensitive, so they may feel a little bit frustrated, but eventually, because you can't do what they need done straight away because you're honoring your own workload first with a healthier boundary, they go off and do it themselves. okay? It just teaches people you cannot be played in any shape or form there, okay? Now, also, I feel this is about doing something you love to stand out in your industry. So a lot of new ideas. I feel this King of Cups energy, because some of you are so exhausted, you may feel that you've been running on empty. And it can be hard to brainstorm new ideas. You may feel a little bit clouded, but I feel that over the next 6 weeks there, you get more vitality, and I feel that you employ healthier working practices. You may be looking at health and safety in the working environment, whether you work for yourself or for a company there. I feel this is about replenishing your energy, staying hydrated, especially if you work in an environment where it's super hot or even super dry in its circumstances, like aircon. I mean, I love aircon, especially when it comes to like a very hot day outside. You need the aircon on to cool you down, but it can also dry you out. And you have a King of Cups in the resistance position, so it can indicate just be a little bit mindful of rehydrating, okay? Now also, just be a little bit mindful. This has just come through, so please take it as it resonates. If you are going to a networking event or you are in a social setting, even if it's by the water cooler in an office or, somewhere where people gather, like a green room or, a break room, for example, just be a little bit mindful if anyone is negative about someone in a position of authority. Walls have ears. There may be someone who is actually taking the information back to the source, the person that they're talking about. Just watch out for that. Or it could be that suddenly the person arrives and hears the negativity. And if you're not even involved in that, but you're standing there, like engaging in listening to it, you could be kind of like rounded up with others, taken to task on that. So just be mindful if anyone is being negative about anybody, really. I would say just be mindful to remove yourself from that, because I feel people will get caught, or the actual person who's being talked about will enter the scenario, and I feel like they've got a lot of clout. I feel like they have powers to kind of like get revenge, let's put it that way, okay? So just be a little bit mindful of that. Now, this card, for the rest of you, I feel this is about you wanting to advance in your career and thinking about structures or new ideas in order to stand out. You're building something. This is a card that will go into the upright, and I see this card as really positive. Of course, the Tower can indicate that you go round and round in circles on something, back and forth on something. So I see that for some of you, you may have to negotiate something, go back and forth and make a decision. When you make that decision, it's the right decision. I want you to be aware of that. And it just feels like everything starts to help you springboard from there. But I would say some of you are looking at legal structures, financial ones, generational wealth, or maybe the legal structure of a business, because you may be thinking about migrating it, or you may be thinking about structuring it, an entity, or launching something there. I would say get good financial advice there, because whatever it is that you're doing is complex with that Five of Wands, and I feel, you'll get someone who really helps you walk through the complexities and understand things on a deeper level. So if that's you, I would definitely say that, it's going to be very lucrative, very successful. You're called to do it for a reason, but look into it and make sure, because you don't want to misstep there. There are some hidden kind of like clauses and legalities that you just don't want to bypass. And it may be that you're just not aware of them. But if it's a legal entity or structure, for some of you, it can be something that cannot be undone. You'll have to like either start again or start from scratch or nullify it in some way. So just be mindful. But also I'm getting this energy of authority, you elevating. Right at the beginning, I saw these steps going right to the top of like a staircase with a harp. So I feel like whatever industry you're working in, whether you work for yourself or a company, I feel like it's a very competitive environment and you stand out. So I would say this is not a time for playing small in your industry, but some of you are working behind the scenes on a project that when the moment is right, you will reveal it. And I feel it's something that is going to be received really well there. The Tower can also be that, you're breaking free from something, because I would say the Tower, especially with the King of Pentacles, this can be the structure that you're working, but sometimes you need to have variety or a change of pace or a change of, not direction, because I feel like you're heading in the right direction here, but I feel like you may trial something or dip your toe into something or kind of trial a new way of working, and you're not sure how it's going to go, but actually you're going to love it and you're going to employ it long term. I feel a lot of you are looking at your long-term goals there. Five of Wands in the resistance position initially is, an energy of harmony. It is like problem solved. If it's your problem solving period right now, you may be looking at something very complex that you will find clarity in over the next coming weeks and months. But also Five of Wands will go into the upright, which basically means that you are someone who works in a very creative field and you stand out. So remember that about yourself. We've got the King of Cups there as well. I feel like you love what you do, but I have to acknowledge that there's three people here. So some of you, this could be you connecting to like accountants or financial advisors, or it can be that, you are thinking about partnering up in business. Now, it doesn't always have to be people. It can be a social media platform. Maybe these are different like platforms. It could be like different social media platforms. One is more serious than the other. The other one is more creative than the other, or maybe creative artists get more revenue from it. So these could be different aspects of things that you're looking at right now, and you're doing something that you have knowledge on, okay? But you may be having a structure where you get different streams of income because you're connecting to either different people, brands, or different social media platforms to do what you do. For some of you, this could be clients. If you are in an industry where you provide a service or you provide goods, could be a customer. For example, I just see a lot of people around you kind of like really interested in what you do and loving what you do. But there are competitors out there who do what you do as well, but you're unique. You do something different. You stand out in some way. So I would keep running with that. Five of Wands basically means creative brainstorming as well. Honoring those wacky ideas that come in. You're like, whoa, that's a bit weird, but I feel like you explore it because it's something that helps you stand out. In a world where everything is the same at the moment, replicating things and nothing seems so original anymore. I feel like you're having some really original ideas, or you're taking something that is tried and tested and you're putting your own unique spin on it, and it sets you apart. So again, I would say this is quite exciting there. But I feel with the Five of Wands, that is the card before the Six of Wands, of course. So I feel like there's this energy of you having a lot going on right now, and you're about to have a major win, a major breakthrough. But the next 6 weeks, it feels like it's not that. It just feels like you're maintaining and sustaining before you launch something or try something, and then you have the breakthrough, okay? I would say with the Five of Wands, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's 5 figures on that card, and each one has a wand. Every one of them are trying to manage something where they align to create a star, okay? And the star is a pentacle, or it's a wish. So I feel like you're trying to create something right now. You're at a milestone position where you're not quite there yet, but you're on your way, and you're going to see a success in this. It feels challenging. I also see a lot of you, there may be someone who tries to copy your work or try to take credit for your work. So just make sure you protect your work. And, I feel, of course, copying is a high form of flattery, but at the same time, you may feel frustrated because you are unique and you don't want anyone to take credit for your work there as well. And you don't want someone to just copy what you do and try and create the streams of revenue, for example, doing something that you love, you've put so much effort into. I see you will get the rewards of it, but you just want to be mindful that, copycats, while it can be flattering, at the same time, it can be distracting from your clientele, as it were, or it can be competitive. Let's put it that way. So just be mindful of that. I mean, Five of Wands energy is to try and manage stress there as well. With the Wands energy, I feel this is about you kind of challenging yourself as well. I feel like you're looking at what you can offer that others cannot. Okay. And that's whether you're interviewing or whether it is you working in a company. You're just going that extra mile. You're bringing your A game. You're fully invested. And I feel, yes, of course, people can do the structure of what it is that you do, but you do something differently, and that sets you apart. And you need to honor that about yourself. Same with interviewing. This is about remembering your skills of what you can do that others cannot. What sets you apart? What's your niche? Okay, so I feel a lot of you are on course to really lock down your niche, as it were, and really flourish in that area. King of Cups, of course, there's this energy, because it is in the resistance position at first, there's always going to be a task or a responsibility that you don't love about your industry. So for example, if you're a creative, you're off there creating your art or your, goods, whatever it is you do, you have a craft. It can be that you don't love having to pull all your receipts into documents, do filing, that is the business side. So it can be that there's stuff that you don't love doing. So you may be thinking about outsourcing at this time, whether it's to an accountant or a financial advisor or even a PA or maybe even some sort of online service there. I feel this is about you kind of like doing the things that you love and doing less of what distracts you or gets in the way of what you really want to do. But King of Cups energy, I would say a lot of you, if you work for a company, there is some sort of role that you're aspiring to achieve. And I feel like you may get a promotion, okay? But at first it feels like it's not what you were hoping for. But I feel it's a springboard because I feel there's a stepping stone. You're on your way towards getting the big deal or the big success that you desire, okay? And if you're an entrepreneur, I feel some of you, this may be investors or it could be an award or a bursary that is very complex, and it is this energy of people competing to collaborate with you or you competing to get this award or this bursary. But I feel it's really comforting because you overcome an obstacle and I feel like you get a win there, okay? So that's coming through as well. Also, bizarrely, I'm getting an energy of someone who is a competitor. They're not able to do what you do. And therefore, they may have someone who comes to them for a service or goods. And actually, because they cannot do what you do, and they cannot do what the client requires, they send that client onto you because that's good business. So I feel like someone may actually be sent to you from a competitor. Okay, so that's coming through there as well. Now we have the moon energy, which is all about your intuition, being in the flow. Also, this is a hidden opportunity. I feel like there is a hidden opportunity that is something that people would love to have that will be offered to you in some way. If you are kind of applying for something, it doesn't always have to be like a role in your industry. It can be that you're applying for like a visa, or it can be that you're applying for an extension on something, or you're applying for some sort of qualification or certification, or you're educating yourself in some way to aspire to new pay grades. I feel there's this energy that you're not quite there yet, but when you get there, it is going to be offered to you, and it's very exciting. Of course, at this moment in time, you may have applied for something or invested in something and you're not sure how it's going to go because the moon is often a very sort of unclear kind of energy. I can see with the outcome that is clarifying that you're going to love the outcome. You're sticking to your vision, and the Temperance card, it is your calling. And for some of you, this could be that you start to try out new ideas. Very explorative time. So I would say these cards is like, okay, you have a very unique idea that's come to you. It could be a vision, could be something that comes to you in a dream as well. But I feel like you could explore it through the next coming weeks and months, and you really solidify it. Some of you may work on it behind the scenes in private, but I feel this foresight is like seeing the future. You're planning ahead. For some of you, this could be that you're trying to, work hard now and retire early, for example. But ultimately, I feel that, you are on the pinnacle of a breakthrough and a pinnacle of success, but you know that there is more to go on this. It feels like everything that's been a little bit all over the place, or it's like structure works really well for you, but at the same time, it's all going to come together in divine timing. Everything is going to align, and you're going to see things really shaping up nicely. But I feel believe and receive is very important here for you. Queen of Cups, when it comes to finances, the Queen of Cups can be that, you want to be more financially savvy. You love what you do, but it can be that you are handing the reins over to someone else to take care of your money or to kind of like manage it. That can be what this card is aligned with. Now, if a lot of you with that King of Pentacles, you're like, no, I'm going to take care of my own finances. But it can be that, you find a financial institution that you love banking with, or you find some sort of advice given by a practitioner that you love. It can be that you're putting your trust in their advice or their knowledge. Always do your due diligence, check things out behind the scenes. I don't see anything untoward here, but we do have a tower. So I want to pull a card on this because it's in a position where there could be like a rule or regulation that changes, or a shocking move in your industry, or maybe someone gets fired from something, or it could be that there is, a competitor who suddenly changes like a financial aspect. And you would benefit more if you went in that direction. So for example, if you bank with a certain company, right, and you feel, okay, well, things have plateaued there, and you are like, well, I'm thinking about moving my money over here to this place because they're offering more interest rates, but they lock you into a certain contract for a certain term, for example. You may think about going there, but if you just wait it out for a moment, there may be another institution that gives an even better opportunity and gives you more freedom, doesn't lock you in, as it were. So does that make sense? That's something that's coming out there. Let me just pull a card on this tower for you and this moon, because I feel like hidden surprise energy is there, but it kind of like sets you apart. It's something to celebrate. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, financial freedom could be you having an appraisal to hear that, there's going to be a bit of a bonus coming on in there for you, or there's an opportunity where you can work a little bit more independently in your working environment. If you're an entrepreneur, it could be like an opportunity that you have been sitting on for a while, an idea, and suddenly you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to make it happen. And then you're wishing that you should have done it earlier, because the 9 of Pentacles, it financially frees you up in some way. I feel this is about you gaining more money or being able to save more money, and it surprises you in some way. 9 of Pentacles is always a brilliant card. So I would say whatever surprise this is, it could be the legal structure where you surprise yourself, setting up an entity where you're more financially free, or you benefit from some sort of legal structure that helps you save more money. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the 9 of Pentacles, she has 6 Pentacles saved. It's like, this is mine, I'm not touching this, I'm going to squirrel this away for the future, whether it's 401ks, payments on like repayment plans, for example, but ultimately that's about savings. And 3 Pentacles goes out, and it's like, okay, I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to pay my bills with this. I'm going to, enjoy myself. This is a card of luxury. It's a card of having a glow up in your industry because you love what you do. But also, a lot of you could be thinking about financial freedom and be unsure about being your own boss, for example. But I feel like you're moving into uncharted territory at this time. For some of you, because we have that temperance energy, it could be something that you launch on the side, or something that really complements whatever it is that you do. So this could be a second stream of income for some of you. You may be doing something that is very like day to day. You are aware where your finances come from. I feel the collective are actually looking at this in general, because this message is coming out a lot for this period. So this could be something that collectively a lot of people are kind of locking into. Like, if I do this thing here diligently and over, I become a pro at it, but then I become more independent, more free, more nomadic, honoring my time, restructuring the way that you work in some way with your schedule. It just feels that there is success, achievement of a goal, prosperity, and comfort. It's harvest time. A lot of you are working really hard as well, as I mentioned, in order to have a rest, to get out into nature or spend time with family and friends. But this is about appreciating and being appreciated in your working environment. And a lot of you, it's like sole trader, or a lot of you, it's like working on your own and pooling your resources. The Temperance card is kind of like being in the flow, being balanced. So I would say a lot of you with this moon energy, because it does say like intuition, dreams, emotions, fears, fantasy, creativity, mood swings, and the unseen, I would say, because it's clarified by a Queen of Cups and a Temperance card, I feel this is about you being on course to be successful and love what you do and be balanced and locked on to your sense of purpose, but you're not sure how it's going to go, but actually you're going to love how it goes, okay? But also this can be to keep your dreams alive. A lot of you, it's exhausting to do what you do because you love what you do. You're always going to, invest fully in your career because that is going to pay large rewards. And I would say that 9 of Pentacles highlights that you are working towards being financially independent, or, you know, working towards retirement, for example. This can be a card of, you know, relying on yourself to get you to a financial position that you're comfortable with, happy with, can live a life of luxury with. But this is you remaining on course to reach those financial goals. So I would say this is an energy of being comfortable, but also working towards financial independence, okay? So I would say this Tower energy is more about structure for you. I mean, there may be like a leading industry person who either, as I said, gets fired, or there's some sort of drama around this person. For some of you, it could be that they leave the industry suddenly or abruptly. So that's happening there. But I feel for you, it's like business as usual. I feel like you're pushing on through, you're at capacity. Yes, you're drained, but the Queen of Cups, like clarifying the Moon energy, can be that you're looking at healthier working practices, healthier environments, making sure that you look at health and safety in the working environment as well. Some of you may be looking at like being a first aider, or looking into first aid courses, or being a fire warden, for example, that may bring in some extra finances there. Extra responsibility. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Okay. So I'm just going to go get some final cards for you. So we have positive focus. Okay. Some of you, because there's glasses there as well, you may be more aware of eye strain, or you may be looking at your prescription glasses if you have them there. But I feel this is about the fine details of your industry. Some of you may think about like learning more in order to access greater financial levels, as it were. But it says what you see is what you get. So see yourself succeed. Stay optimistic. I mean, you're showing up as a King of Pentacles, someone who's knowledgeable, someone who's successful, someone who's on course to earn and attract more money, to manifest all that you desire. And you're putting the work in there as well. So I would say that that is a positive focus. You are focused on direction. We've got bountiful career. Keep growing in knowledge and plant your ideas, converting seeds to profits. Definitely see that's something that you are doing right now. Yeah, look at this card. It says, keep swimming. You are getting there, but it just takes time to arrive. You're in the flow. And that's what I feel like, you know, we can't win stuff every day. Sometimes just being in the flow and maintaining and sustaining is what you need, right? To advance. You are moving forward. So I would say keep going, because I feel like you're on the precipice of a breakthrough or a change here. Making progress. It says here, success is a journey. Yeah, you've got the journey card right there. You're aware of that. Success is a journey, and you are well on your way. Have faith as you go. Okay, so again, that's believe and receive. Have faith that you are on course. Sometimes when you're in the middle of whatever it is you're doing, you cannot see how you're advancing. Okay, when you look back, you're like, whoa, I've come a long way. But when you're in the middle of it, it just feels like you're in the middle of it. It just feels like you're on autopilot. And yes, you'd like to keep that spark alive and be motivated and all of those things. But I feel with that King of Pentacles, you're being really practical. It's like, this is what I got to do. This is how I'm showing up. This is my long-term plans. Let's get busy. Let's start doing it. And that's where you're at right now. And you are going to see the gains of that. You're going to see more gains, though, in September. Okay. It says swift returns. The effort you put in now comes back to you soon. So again, all of your energy in your reading, it feels like soon there is a win coming in here. Strike while you can. So yeah, I would say if you're launching something, it would be a great time to like launch it. I feel like it's well received. Whether this is a new idea, Pegasus normally means a breakthrough. It's Ace of Swords energy. It means, you know, destiny is kind of putting you in a position to align for things to happen for you with greater speed. But right now, the next coming weeks, I feel it's about you being diligent. There's a process, there's a structure, you're owning your time, and you're disciplined. You're making a strenuous effort in order to be on course. And I feel like you are making headway there. I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune. Okay, we've got 2 dolphins. Okay, dolphins represent intuition, of course, that laser-like focus, being in the flow, but also that sonar. The sonar can be that you are aware on your periphery that there are changes afoot. So you are willing to adjust your course or your sails to remain flexible so that you can stay on course. It's like moving through the winds of change, let's put it that way. But the dolphins indicate that, you are someone who requires to have fun with what you do, okay? And I feel this is you aligning, maybe even with people. There could be a partnership here because there's two dolphins there. For some of you, it could be that you're traveling, having a vacation, and dolphins are relevant. Maybe it's a logo. We've also got, loving this, the Wheel of Fortune. It's a gift rune. This means that there is going to be a surprise that you will celebrate, okay? Hidden opportunity. The moon often represents things being orchestrated behind the scenes for you to show up when the moment is right. So I would say that, this is an energy of something that you'll love coming on in. Because there's so much water at the end of your reading, it tells me more than anything, it's aligned with your dreams. Money is important, of course, so I feel like the two will blend in together, loving what you do with that Queen of Cups into the King of Cups energy and the King of Pentacles with the Temperance. It just feels like you're blending. Doing something you love, but the money is reflected and it's reciprocal. And if you feel like you're not there yet, I feel like you are taking things to that level, or you're moving into a position where you're ready to receive that. Also, I would say this is a rune of partnerships. So you have the two dolphins there. This could be you and a partner in business. But if it's not that for you, it can also be that you're partnering up with social media platforms or businesses, or even people who can help you aspire to what you need to do. So for example, if you're a writer, having a publisher, or if you are someone who is a digital creator, having a printer so that you can have someone who does like mass orders, for example. So it means your alliances in business, people that you collaborate in some way to, be on course to do what you love doing. And finally, we got a big old bag of money. So that is great. I feel like you are going to be rewarded. I feel like you are on course. And I feel like this is about, putting some money away for your future as well. You may be thinking about going into real estate, or pooling your money into some sort of asset that accumulates more wealth over time. But I would say, right now you're looking at financial opportunities and you're aligning yourself with that, and you're on course to be very successful to achieve that as well. Okay, so I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Librans. Also, what may benefit you is to write down a declaration to the universe of what you aspire to achieve, whether it's a certain amount of money, whether it is a major success or win, or whether it is like a high-ranking position. Whatever it is, as I mentioned, it will be different for everybody. So just write it down, either in private at home or in the comments box below, and claim it and say, this is what I aspire to achieve. It is a solid cosmic ordering declaration to the universe. That's when you align with what you desire. Sometimes, when we're manifesting, we say something like, I would love to have more money in my career, for example. And then the next day you say, I would love to have more money in my career to this amount. And then you state an amount. And the universe is like, oh, yesterday you said you would like more money. You didn't specify, so we were on course to give you, a little bit more money. Now you've given me a specific amount. The order has changed. We have to bring that order back to the cosmic kitchen. So this is about you writing something down. You've thought about it. You've solidified it, and then the universe can be direct with it. Okay, so just something to think about during this time, especially since we are in Lionsgate, that portal that offers you amplified opportunity to manifest. So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, my beautiful Librans, and love and light.